Hi, this is Clash of Clans esports news. I am Christine the Mean, and it is the 23rd of February 2021. Let's get started. First, let's talk about what's going on with the players and teams in Clash of Clans. Big news this week. Announced on a Big Veil stream, Marinol has joined Spacestation Gaming. So the lineup that was playing in this particular war that Big Veil was streaming was Nick, formerly from Tribe, Goreticus, Crazy Ryan, Agent 33, and Marinol. So Marinol, formerly from Ints. We had talked last week about how Ints players had been dispersing and a number had gone over to NGT Legends, but we did not yet have news of Marinol. Well, now we know Marinol lands at SSG. Now, there was some discussion in the chat during the Big Veil stream about how there was going to be competition for the 5th spot. So I don't honestly know which of these are the 4 and which is the 5, but there is going to be competition for the 5th spot, and there was also some discussion about there being a 7-player main squad. But Space Station has not yet released any kind of a tweet or announcement, as far as I know, with their roster. They're being a little bit coy about what they're doing there. So we will keep our tabs on Space Station Gaming, but at this point, the thing to know is Marinol will be on that SSG roster. So the next bit of news, Evil Witches has announced the retirement of one of their members, Helena. So Evil Witches has been making deep pushes in a lot of different tournaments, been participating quite enthusiastically, and he has really good stream support. So there's this is either an opening on their team, or it is just sorry to see Helena go. But either way, I'm sure the Evil Witches will continue to be quite successful, but we're sorry to see one of their members leave. The squad from Penta were able to get a contract extension. So Penta is sponsoring the same team once again. Congratulations to them. They have done a great job of making some pretty deep pushes in a number of tournaments. Very present on social media and active. So I'm not surprised to see this contract extension come through for Penta. And then we have Deep. Deep joins Marcos Gaming as a base builder. So many of the pro teams are partnered with different base building servers or base building organizations. Marcos Gaming appears to be sourcing these individually instead of as an organization. But congratulations go to Deep on joining Marcos Gaming as a builder. And then we do have a couple of players that are just looking for teams. So Dulan and Marco both tweeted out that they are looking for competitive teams. With some of the announcements about Supercell World Championships, the Clash of Clans World Championships, people are scrambling a little bit to get their teams in order now. And maybe that's what's happening with Dulan and Marco. So let's talk about World Championships. Supercell released the World Championship rule book about a week ago, and there are 23 pages of rules. Now, we're not going to go through all 23 pages. I'm just going to give you a couple of highlights today. The structure is basically that you have to win in SCCWL, somewhere between Champs 1 and Champs 3. You have to finish in Champs. That will allow your clan to register one team for a monthly pre-qualifier. And if you win that, you go on to a monthly qualifier and you get a golden ticket, and that goes to Worlds. So we'll get more into the pre-qualifier and the qualifier structure. But just know that this starts with Supercell Clan War League, and that that's sort of interesting. And then we also have this opportunity for the last chance ticket. So if you come in second in the monthly qualifiers, or certain community leagues, you might be able to participate in an extra qualifier. Now, so the things that are kind of interesting from a competitive standpoint here are, first of all, that structure with SCCWL, where you need 15 players, obviously, to compete in the champs levels in SCCWL. but you only get to sign up one squad of 5. So that means if you've got a competitive squad of 5, what options do you have? You find 10 players who want to support you and are willing to not play in Worlds, or maybe all 5 of you happen to have 3 clean accounts and you all run 3 clean accounts, or you partner with some other clan that is in Champs and doesn't want to play Worlds, but you end up having this structure where you can't actually have 15 players who all want to compete in Worlds because 10 of them will be disappointed. So that's an interesting twist. The second thing that people are talking a lot about is the highest level town hall. The rules say you have to use the highest level town hall. Well, that's great. We're Town Hall 13s, no problem. A lot of us have been there a while. But there's also all the discussion about when will 14 drop. Will it be in May? Will it be in April? Will it be in June? It seems like it's likely to be one of those months. It's probably not going to wait until October. But that means that some of the qualifiers will happen at 13 and some at 14, or are they going to rush it and drop it in April? In either case, to get up to the highest level quickly, it probably means a bunch of gemming. So that's something to just take note of. There's just a lot of, I want to say, anxiety about the timing of the Town Hall 14 drop relative to the timing of the monthly qualifiers. Second thing, 16-year-olds are now eligible. In many cases, I think prior years we've had to be 18. So there are some who are quite happy about this. The next, only one account per player can be used past SCCWL. So you by yourself cannot register all 5 of your clean Town Hall 13s for a team. It has to be only one player per account past SCCWL. So you also can't register 2 clean accounts with different teams. Would also not be allowed. So that's just something to take note of. And then there's also going to be this in-application thing called a tournament hub, where all of these signups happen. There won't be an external website, I guess, like we used to have with ESL. At some point, they do bring on a Discord server. We can get into that a little bit more in a future episode. But at least for the first rounds, all of the work is done in-app. It will be interesting to see how that app works with the tournament structure. Now, what does this look like a little bit more? Okay, these monthly pre-qualifiers. They start in May, so your May SCCWL, that's going to be May 1st through 11th, is the first step. And then depending on where your clan ends up in Champs, you can register a team to play in Worlds. If you happen to be in the top 64 in Champs 1, your team will skip directly to day 2 of the pre-qualifiers. If you're not in the top 64, then you have to play through day 1. So day 1, however many teams register, they play a single elimination bracket down to 64 teams. These wars are 5 minutes of prep, 30 minutes of war. And there's a rotating start time for that depending on the month. So it could be a lot of war or a little war, just depends how many teams sign up. Now on day 2, they take the 64 teams from day 1, and they add to that the 64 teams that were ranked in the top of Champs 1. And then those wars are played from now 128 team bracket down to 6 places, and they actually play all 6 of those. Those wars are 5 minutes, 45 minutes, so 5 prep, 45-minute war, and they do have attack times. So it is possible that those will be streamed, which we typically haven't seen in the first portions of Worlds before. Start times for that rotate monthly. Now, if your clan happens to be in the top 6, if you play through SCCWL, you play through day 1, you play through day 2, and you end up in the top 6, you now are in the official monthly qualifier, and that is a 2-day, 6-team double elimination bracket. And you have to use a broadcast kit to appear live to the organizers. That doesn't necessarily mean you're streamed live, like a picture of you, but it does mean that the tournament organizers can watch and make sure and watch what you're doing. They can see your hands, they can see your device, they can listen to you, you can't mute your mic, you can't get coaching, those kinds of things. So they will be monitoring that in the monthly qualifiers. And based on how your clan does there's a golden ticket and a silver ticket. The winner is the gold and goes right to Worlds. The second place is silver, and they get another chance at the last chance qualifier. Now, one of the things everybody is talking about here is the start times for this is 4 a.m. Eastern European summertime. So that is the middle of the night for most of Europe when the start time for the monthly qualifiers happens. And I've been hearing a lot of complaints about that. On the other hand, my take on this is if you're placed in 1 through 6, you're playing in that monthly qualifier, you've already won a fair bit of money, okay? You're going to win, your team will win between $5,000 and $15,000 just for showing up. So just get out of bed and play. That's the Christine the Mean way of looking at that. So the other thing to take note of about Worlds on my first scan of the rules is that you got to watch out for your rebrandings. So if you're a pro team and you tend to jump around between organizations, or if you're an org and you tend to lose your rosters a lot, you need to be careful. These rosters are only allowed 2 rebrands per year. So what would be a shame is if you as an organization signed a team that had already used both of their rebrands, and then you would be stuck and you could not have your name on that Worlds team. It also would be kind of a shame if you as a team signed up with some kind of an org that did not have the longevity you needed, and they bail on you, and then you get another one and they're not good, and now you don't really have any choice because you're no longer as marketable. You can't be rebranded again. So just be careful with those rebrandings. And that is what we're going to talk about with Worlds today. Let's move on. All right, so leagues and tournament news. We have a lot of it. First of all, Events Hub this week crowned their champion of the Winter Championship, and that is Exit Esports. So congratulations to Exit Esports. It was a very well-fought tournament by Exit, and nice to see them win the cash and the prize. Also, Clash Masters League crowned Unicorns of Love as the champion of their Fleet division this week. Congratulations go out to Unicorns of Love. And the FCA Tournament happened this week. Camilla Royals came away as the winner of that FCA Tournament. So congratulations to Camilla Royals for putting in the work there. We have this week the MCWL is going to have their championship final of their pro division. I think it's called Esports Pro. And that is the Burmese Ghouls versus Turbo Clan. So we will report on that next week on the winner. Fury is down to semifinals, and I cannot for the life of me find a decent graphic related to, I can't find it on their Twitter, I can't find it on their Discord. Surely they have a decent graphic, but I cannot find it. So I have this ugly thing that tells you that Titan Esports will be taking on QSFN, and RTI will be taking on Zombie Doom in those semifinals. Now, both of the Method to Madness teams, M2 Ninja and Method to Madness, were eliminated in the quarterfinals. Zombie Doom took down Barat, which I think is a pretty big one. I think Barat just won the Universal War League not too long ago, but Zombie Doom has been on fire lately, so that will be fun to watch. And then QSFN, relatively newer, so it will be fun to see how they do in this Fury semifinal. Hopefully this will be streamed. Like I said, I'm having trouble finding a lot of information here. Black Widow also does not seem to have an updated bracket. So I know they're at quarterfinals. I think these are the right teams. Fortaleza, I've got typos in there. Fortaleza versus Small World. GAT versus Titan. Paku City versus NGT Legends. Again, that's the team that has some of those old INTZ players on it. And Class A X versus Inner Circle. So that's who is playing in the Black Widow quarterfinals. Moving on, Clash Champs Cup did indeed post a nice graphic. These are the 32 teams that have made it into the playoffs for the Clash Champs Cup. I'm not going to read them all, but we will continue to monitor this, and I'll bring you the round of 16 bracket next week. WCL is currently in playoffs. They just started playing the round of 128. So I do have a bracket, but that's too small to read. So just know that there's a lot of really good plans playing good wars in the WCL right now. And the Pitt tournament. Okay, they released their round of 64s on 4 separate posters. I'm not going to show all of those. You can just see all 4 of them there. The big Pitt news, though, is that 21 teams were disqualified for roster violations between the group phase and the release of their bracket. So these included some pretty big names: Benelux Esports, Clash Champs, Evil Witches, Genshin Clash, MKMA, Darkest Mujan, and there were others. But that is a pretty big deal. Now, one of the things that I think is that our ability to find and assess the roster information, like who's actually playing in each wars, is much more well developed than it used to be. And so while tournaments forever have had rules that you could not have players playing for more than one team in the tournament, it's been hard to enforce those rules. But we've got better information now than we've had before, and now we can enforce those. And kudos go out to Pitt for finding those issues and, in my opinion, doing the right thing, which is enforcing the rules that you have written. I'm sure that someone's going to flame them on Twitter for this, but it is the rules that were written, and if there were violations, this is what has to happen. So we will watch that playoff bracket next week and see how that progresses. Moving on. We're getting into some of the applications. There's a lot of open applications right now. So MLCW Esports has announced their Season 2, and applications are open for another few days. Now, they have taken the bold move of switching their esports format over to the new Worlds format. So those wars will be run with the 5-minute prep, 45-minute war, with the hit times aligned with Worlds. I think this is a huge good move by MLCW. Because as teams start wanting to play in Worlds, what they need is more practice with that format. These the pro teams, the competitive players, are very used to the 15-minute, 1-hour war, and moving that into the Worlds format is what they need to get ready. Right now, there's a lot of discussion about how the prep time for that first hit is not enough, and it's going to be too compressed, and it's going to compromise gameplay. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's all true, but if you start practicing at it, you'll get better at it. So huge kudos go out to MLCW for making a really, I want to say, a fast decision to switch their format out. Given, where they're at in the registration phase, I think this was a really, really good move. I want to complain about the Top Warriors Cup not giving me any kind of a bracket that I can do anything with. I don't exactly know I think they're actually at the finals, but I can't tell who's there based on anything on their Discord server, based on anything on their Twitter. All I can find is they keep retweeting stuff from Top End Building. So, Top Warriors Cup, give me a bracket. All right, other league news. These are ones kind of in play. Events Hub and Indian Clan War League. This is going to be starting soon. We've got the Town Hall 13 Diamond League and Global Clash Cup, both in their week 1. We have EYG and the French Clash Cup, both in week 3. We've got Boom in week 4. Top War League, I think you're in week 6, but it's hard to find your information out. Vedic Cup, I know you're playing, but I can't tell how far along into that tournament you are. Intercontinental League Cup, playoff starting soon. And then CCF, I'm going to complain about you too. I can't find a playoff bracket, and I know you're in playoffs. So give me playoff brackets. I want to talk about your leagues. All right, sign-ups. Olympians Cup registration here is open until March 3rd. We have a bunch of streamers sponsoring this. I saw there the Beer Man and Matt Gizmo and D-Money and Rambo sponsoring something called the Olympians Cup that's got some weekly rounds and then a 16-team bracket. We also have the Queso Cup signups should open up March 1st for your Town Hall 13s. So what you're seeing here is the poster for the 12s. But the information on their Discord server says March 1st is when Town Hall 13 registration opens up, and that tournament play is March 5th through March 7th. So mark your calendars and get signed up. I think people have been having a tremendous amount of fun playing. the Queso Cup. Universal War League announced another season. Their season, I think this is season 5, is that right? $1,000 prize pool. So this is a big one. That's a big step up for the Universal War League. And they've got more money, and they have taken the initiative to start inviting some bigger name teams into the UWL. It'll be fun to watch how the UWL does in season 5, and fun to see them get to season 5. But registrations there are open till March 5th. So if you haven't applied, go apply. The Carry Cup Edition 4 is apparently open for registration. $500 prize pool for the Carry Cup Edition 4, 128 slots. Now, when those close and what the play dates are, totally not clear in any of the information I could find. But I do believe the registrations are open, so go check it out. Champions Mixed Cup. I talked about this one last week, but I think registrations are still open on the top TWC server and the Holowiwi server. Rambo and Clash affiliations have all filled up. So this is that interesting tournament where each of those different servers organizes a tournament, and they play down from 64 teams to 16. And then the 16 teams from each server get together for a fresh 64 team bracket. So I think 2 out of the 4 are full, and it's possible that another one is. But there might still be some opportunity either on the TWC or the Holowiwi servers to get into this thing. This is going to be a fun one. I think the way that structure is going to be fun. And then we have the Mythical War League, the MWL, still has applications open for another few days. I know they had over 400 applications already, so they're going to have their work cut out for them trying to figure out who to pick. $500 prize pool for their Hydra esports division. The Wizard Cup. Last week, when I talked about this, their bot was down. Well, their registration bot is back up, so you can go register. Now, this is I think there's 5 weeks of qualifiers plus a bracket, and the bracket has some parts that are double elimination. Prize pool is $100, so if your team plays for a prize pool, this one could be a little rough going. It's a lot of play for $100, but it could also be quite fun. Bushido Gaming League is out there. This one, I think they're only taking 64 teams, and I think they're at a wait list now. So you could still sign up until March 15th, but I think they're just filling a wait list at this point, that the first 64 spots are full. And that, my friends, is all the news I have for you this week. I will be back next week. We will dive a little bit deeper into some aspects of the Worlds announcement and any other news that happens between now and then. I want to thank you for joining me. I've appreciated all of your views. I would especially like it if you would give me a like or a comment or a sub. There's a lot of different ways you can participate in these communities with me. Thank you for joining me. I'll catch you next week. This is Christine the Mean signing off.